Creation's Journey to Life, Day 21, Success and Reward. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to define success as my life in terms of the rewards I will be able to secure. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to define success only in terms of my life and not in terms of all life equally, that I may glorify life and not only myself. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to define achievement in terms of what I do to receive rewards instead of who I am as life, where life as equal fulfillment is a reward here on earth for all beings, and as such, the only value that sustains me as a successful living that embrace me as I embrace it, as the joy of life expressed as joyful living, as part of universal life in expression, so experienced even as the limitation of individuality. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that I am in a partnership with all of Earth that determines what life on Earth will be for all parts on Earth through my participation as who I am, and that as such, who I have accepted myself to be will be reflected in the way the world functions through my allowed and accepted partnerships, directly or indirectly, and thus the world will be my mirror and my judge to be immediately corrected and directed if the partnership results in abuse in the world and not in a reward of equal life and living for all as what is best for all. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see how I have defined life rewards to be based on what I do as self-definition and how I then define who I am through rewards. I forgive myself that I have failed to see that this method of designing children to form part of the world system is used at home by parents to define new life as children through rewarding what children do to design who they become, so end up as the rotten child syndrome instead of designing who the child is as life, which will present a child to the world that will never abuse life just to get a reward. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see how I have allowed success to be linked to financial reward, and through this define morality to be measured by the size of the reward, allowing myself to accept that abuse of earth is reasonable if the reward is large enough, separating myself from life and accepting the abuse of other life forms just because I do not see life in them, as I have defined life as a personal reward system of success. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that I have shifted my personal accountability and direct decision making to corporations and governments as legal entities to, on my behalf, act in the world and present to me rewards with which I can define the ingenuity and success of the human race, regardless of the harm done to other living beings, and in so doing, have absolved myself from responsibility by washing my hands in consciousness of it like a Pontius Pilate, claiming that there is nothing I can do to stop or prevent the abuse, as the majority in power is to blame. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that my vote is that which created the laws through which reward and success as abuse have been accepted and created on earth, and that each vote accumulated into a group that speaks with one voice, where the group not voting is the bigger group, that through not speaking, give all power to the minority groups through a personal apathy and blame shifted to a generalized group as they did it, being at the foundation of all allowed abuse on earth. Those that can change the world refuse to form a group to do so out of personal self-interest, to gain rewards and profit from abuse while claiming innocence through lack of power. This, in spite of the evidence that the world is ruled through groups formed through one man, one vote through democracy. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that I made a mockery of life by failing to see that I allow abuse in the world through groups, by insisting on my individuality as a right untouchable so that I can profit in my eyes from the abuse while shifting the blame to groups in power. I failed to see that in spite of the evidence that through my personal authorized reward of free choice, individuality is the cause for power to be vested in groups, as I refuse to change me to serve life as what is best for all as the group as life, because my individuality rewards me with personal success through profiting from abuse, while I, as the traitor of life, as Judas, can claim that it was pointless anyway. Let me take the silver and sell out life as long as I profit and I am rewarded to feel successful. I am fine. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that life has never been given as a reward, and that success as life has never been allowed to exist equally for all on earth. I commit myself to define success as life as equal support for all life, to establish what is always best for all life as the only acceptable reward, as it will be confirming the value as life through me being the part of life confirming life as life. I commit myself to restore the glory of life as the only value worthy of reward on earth. I commit myself to restore achievement so that which produce the reward that is best for all life as the only way achievement must exist. I commit myself to stand in partnership with all parts of life, till only life defines all relationships, with the reward as success, as that which is consistently always best for all life as result and outcome. I commit myself to define life rewards as the only rewards valid, as it both serves individual self-interest and group interests as a way that is without abuse through giving what is best for all life, and thus receiving what is best for all life. I commit myself to expose the financial reward system in the world to show how the system leads to the individual betrayal of life, just as Judas betrayed Jesus. I commit myself to show how groups formed as corporations and governments based on individual profit rewards are in fact groups defined by individual free choice, either through participation as shareholder or through allowance through non-participation in the design of the laws that bring much profit-based groups into being. I commit myself to show that every individual on earth is in fact accountable and responsible for all abuse on earth, and that once each individual is aligned to a principle as one group based on what is best for all life, we can change the world with ease. I commit myself to show that only the principle that is best for all life will produce a world without abuse, and that anyone refusing to see that is in fact an abuser that only serves self-interest and refuses to serve life. I commit myself to challenge every individual that serves personal success of reward to expose how they allow abuse on earth, regardless of the conflict that may result, yet to keep this at a level of communication as a peaceful way to bring change through self-realization and self-transformation, through self-accountability and discovery of life as true successful living within each part that constitute life on earth.